Hi, I'm Jennifer Eremeeva. I'm a food writer and Russian historian and a passionate devotee of the Romanov dynasty. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to put all of those interests together today and make with you a wonderful recipe for vanilla ice cream, which Empress Alexandra Fyodorovna gave to Maria Rasputina, the daughter of the Mad Monk. Now, ice cream has been around for millennia, first invented by the Chinese and the Persians, but it didn't become mainstream in Europe until the 18th century, when people had the opportunity to figure out how to store the primary commodity of ice cream, which is, of course, ice, and they stored it in ice houses and underground cellars. Russia has a great deal of ice, but ice cream really probably came to Russia from France, along with the fancy pastry chefs and Italian cooks from France, Italy, and Austria who came to work in the houses of the nobility and the royal family. They brought with them all kinds of know-how and all kinds of recipes that have stayed a big part of the Russian cuisine. And that's probably not more true of anything than ice cream, which is a national passion with the Russians. In Alexandra's day, this would have still been, I think, a treat. She had 5 children, but she was herself brought up in a rather austere household. And so she probably kept this back for birthdays or saints' days or just kind of a special thing. She was probably also glad that she had 5 children, because making ice cream required back then turning a handle of an ice cream maker by hand for several hours while the ice cream chilled. I'm lucky to have a KitchenAid mixer with an ice cream attachment, so that makes things a little easier for me. This is a wonderful recipe that Helen Azar has translated and that I've scaled down because I don't have 5 children like Empress Alexandra. It's a rich custardy ice cream that depends a lot on egg yolks and a lot of cream. We're making a plain vanilla version, but that's just a base that you can use to spice up any way you like. So before we get started making the ice cream, we do have to make and chill the custard. So we have 6 egg yolks here, successfully separated from their whites, and we're going to mix in 3/4 of a cup of regular white sugar and whisk it together until the egg yolks begin to lighten up in color. You can see they're quite a bright yellow now. We want to make sure that all the sugar is incorporated. And so they should be quite thick, quite smooth, and become sort of a paler yellow as we do so. So the other ingredients are 2 cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of half and half, or you can use milk as well, but in for a penny, in for a pound. We're going to mix the 2 cups of heavy cream together with some vanilla bean. You can also use vanilla extract, and 1/4 tablespoon of salt. I'm going to do this in a double boiler to minimize any scorching, but if you're careful, you can just do it with a regular pan. The double boiler is filled with water on the bottom, and when it starts to boil, keep an eye on the cream. It needs to be coming up to a boil, but certainly not getting to that point. So it's a good idea to keep stirring it as we go. We want it to be just warm through. So the cream is just coming up to the boil, so I'm going to take a little bit of it and mix it into the egg yolk and sugar mixture, stirring to take care that the eggs do not scramble. And then I'm going to slowly incorporate this into the cream. So it's all in there. And gently stir until the mixture thickens. It's been about 15 minutes, and this has been slowly thickening as I've been stirring it. It'll take longer in the double boiler than it does on a regular saucepan, but you can see that it's kind of clinging to the spoon, and it's lovely and shiny. And slightly thickened from the egg yolk. So we're ready for the next step. So I've allowed the mixture to cool a little bit, and now I'm going to pour in the remaining half and half and just whisk it in. Great. And now to ensure that it's extra smooth, I'm going to pour it through a fine mesh sieve into a container. Also get rid of the vanilla because it's done its work. Okay. And then let this come completely to room temperature and then chill it for minimum 4 hours or best overnight. It should be absolutely cold before we move on to the next step. So it's been about 24 hours and the custard has certainly thickened. At this point, the best direction I can give you is to use the package directions on any ice cream maker. This will work for any kind of electric or the KitchenAid. We're just going to pour it in. Making sure to get every last drop. And with this one, it just turns until it can't turn anymore, and then you know that it's ready. And with most of these, you will want to decant the ice cream from the ice cream maker and freeze it for a couple more hours to make sure that it's the consistency that you desire. So after about 20 minutes, the ice cream is pretty soft, but it's definitely ice cream. I'm going to put it in the freezer for another couple of hours, and it will be pretty firmed up. And it's got a lovely taste. It's sort of old-fashioned, kind of custardy. The egg yolks really shine through, and it's a delight. So thank you very much for joining me for making Alexandra Fyodorovna's vanilla ice cream.